Hey everyone, today I want to talk about the new L'Oreal Extraordinaire, whatever, um, lip gloss. It has a complicated name. Why can't L'Oreal just be like, hey, here's some lip gloss? But no, they gotta be fancy and French. That's okay. So, I have four colors to show you today, and I pretty much just picked the ones that I liked the best. Usually I try to bring you guys the whole line, but I kind of just went simplistic this time, and I hope that's okay with you guys. So the four colors I have are 104 Dancing Rose, 106 Fuchsia Orchestra, 202 Coral Encore, and 502 Plum Adagio. So, first of all, the formula of these is they kind of sit on the lip. They're not as wet feeling as the Fergie lip glosses, if you've seen those, the lip stains, but they do have that consistency where they kind of sit on the lips. Some of the shades, Plum Adagio, I'm looking at you, settle into the lines of your lips. So if you're applying it and you're not using a lip primer, you're going to have some settling into those lines on the lips, which cannot be flattering. I would say for shades like Plum Adagio, maybe wear a lipstick under it, or a liner, or even just a lip primer. Anything to help it sit on top instead of sinking in. So what I'm trying to tell you guys is that the actual gloss sits on top, but the pigment will fall into the creases of your lip. That's not fun. These shades didn't typically bleed for me, but it was close, you know what I mean, where you start seeing it creep, but it's not exactly a full bleed yet. I would suggest wearing a lip liner in nude or just a concealer pencil around the lip. Blend it out, of course. You don't want to look like you have a ring of white around your lip, but anything to keep it from bleeding out of your lip. Overall, I think they were decent. Their price can be a little bit steep for their performance. I did like that they offered almost opaque color coverage. So overall, their formula is kind of like, I would say a 6 or 7 for drugstore at least, since we have a lot better options nowadays. Let's get to the swatches. So let's start with 104 Dancing Rose. Now the whole package is very shiny gold, very disco-esque, and you have a color little window here and a color here. But a note about that is I believe that's just colored plastic and not actually the shade. Here is where you would see the actual shade. So they're pretty close. They're definitely, they're not completely different. It's not a totally different shade. But I'm pretty sure that that's just plastic. I could be wrong, but that's what it looks like. Or maybe that's a bubble in there. I don't know. You know what? Don't listen to me on that. Just know that the color it looks, anyway. So here is the first one. This is Dancing Rose. And as you can see, completely opaque coverage in one swipe. This one performed really, really well. This one is, I would feel, one of the better ones. I liked that it had just very, very subtle. I like that it had very, very subtle silver sparkles, and they're extremely subtle. You will only see them if you're really, really close to someone. But they add just that slight extra dimension, and they really help catch the light. I like that it's such a flattering color, be flattering on a lot of different people because it's that pinky mauve color. It's also a nice spring color, so I feel like this one, if you're just like, well, I want one to try, but I don't want to go crazy and try a funky color that I may not like because I may not like the formula, and you want something that's maybe like just safe for work, really safe, I would say pick up Dancing Rose because it's just a very, it's not too loud, but it's also very feminine, and it performs well. And I'm turning super white again. The next one is Fuchsia Orchestra. By the way, a lot of them have like musical noted names. And this one is a really hot pink. This is really nice to see in the drugstore. Super, super hot pink. Again, doe foot applicator. Really easy to use. And there's like a little split in it, so it really helps you to really line your lips as you're going along if you're just wearing this product and not wearing anything underneath. One swipe, really, really beautiful hot pink. So if you were looking for that super, super creamy, opaque hot pink that you don't have to build up to have that color, it's not sheer, then you might want to pick up that shade because of how bright it is. The next one we're going to do is Coral Encore, and this one had really nice shimmer inside of it. It was more apparent than Dancing Rose, and it really is a true coral. It reminded me a little bit of maybe Vegas Vault. I haven't done a side by side, but just seeing it reminded me a little bit of it. And this one, again, it has a little bit of shimmer, and it's much more apparent in real life. The camera's not picking it up. But it's definitely a nice, pretty orange. Depending on your skin tone, it may look more orange, or it may look more red, or it even may look more pinky coral. It really all depends on your skin tone and your lip tone, because even though it's opaque, it's still going to pick up a little bit of your pigmentation from your lips. Then the last one is Plum Adagio, and this one disappointed me the most. This one also has a slight shimmer, but this is settled into fine lines on the lips. It looks opaque on the hand, but as you can see, it's a little streaky even with that one stroke. So this one applied very streaky. It was very hard for me to get it to sit perfectly on the lips. It was very hard for me to have a non-streaky application. It settled, it almost bled, it wasn't a pleasant experience. And sometimes when it comes to darker lip gloss products, it goes one of two ways. You either have a perfectly opaque dark gloss and it's better than the light ones and it lasts longer, or you have an underpigmented dark gloss that lasts less time than the lighter ones and is harder to apply and streaky. And unfortunately, Plum Adagio is the latter. If you're wondering how these compare to the Maybelline Elixirs, I prefer the Maybelline Elixirs over these. Some of their shades can be a little bit sheer as well, but they're more of like a almost liquid lipstick, whereas these are more of like a glossy liquid lipstick. Those are glossy too, but these feel like they're a little bit sheerer than the Maybelline ones, though the first three did perform as well as the Maybelline Elixirs. The Elixirs, one of the oranges also settled into my fine lines, so I feel like they're compared. By the way, L'Oreal and Maybelline are the same brand. They're both owned by Maybelline, so that may explain why their formulas are somewhat similar or in the same kind of like family of formulas. So if you liked Elixirs, you'll probably like these. If you like these, you'll probably like the Elixirs. Just all depends on which shade you pick up and how that specific shade will perform. So if you like your pinks, you like your mauve, you like your little coral color, I would say pick up the first three. And for Plum Adagio, maybe put on some night mauve underneath, then use it as a gloss on top of that, or maybe use it over one of your vampier lipsticks, put it over one of those, but don't really wear it on its own. So it does have use, so you don't waste your money. These range in price. I believe they're available in most drugstores now. I believe they're also available on Target.com. I believe they're also available on Walmart, Walgreens.com. They're available. There's a lot of places you can find these, so if you can't find them in your local store, chances are you can probably find them online. My local store, they're about $9, but I'm seeing them go for like $6 or $7 online. So really shop around before you go and waste your money. I don't want anybody spending money they don't have to spend. As always, thank you so much for watching. I'll be including picture swatches, and please follow me on Instagram. I'm Recycled Stardust. In terms of staining, I've wiped my hands. You do experience light staining, but if your lips are kind of pigmented, you won't see it. But if you go outside of your lips, you may see some slight staining.